Okay, so, hey guys. I've tried to record this like so many times now. I'm gonna try to do this in one take, call it a day, very minimal editing. Yeah, as you can see, that was me, really optimistic about minimal editing. And now, this is currently me contemplating my life. Yeah. Mission not accomplished. Back to the video. 1. Happy Summer Solstice. 2. Welcome to OneByFaith. This is Imani. It's my first official YouTube channel. Here, I will be talking about wellness, spirituality, and other things other than that. Herbalism, a lot of things. It's kind of like an endless opportunity of conversation. If you guys ever have any ideas, for videos that you would love to hear or contribute to, comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole 9 yards of whatever YouTuber has to say. Basically, this video is to just talk about spiritual lessons that have punched me in the face and a little explanation on where I've been. I guess, I know some of you, or maybe very few of you, have seen the latest Instagram post that I've posted. It is basically saying, like, yeah, I've been gone, been scared of vulnerability and other stuff, scared of myself. I feel like those are definitely separate videos. I kind of want to start this with a more lighthearted video, so we'll start with this instead of just being with the hot and the heavy at the moment. So, yeah. Let's just hop right into it. Spiritual lessons that have punched me in the face. Yeah, the first spiritual lesson would be that life needs to be experienced. With me being gone for 6 months, know that I shouldn't have been neglecting my business by any means for 6 months, but I also feel like it was extremely needed because I needed to realize that I needed to go and experience life and go do stuff, run into some real wacky situations, some crazy weird people. I had to experience that, and I realized that now, in this next chapter of my life, I need to find the balance between experiencing life and then also like being very grounded in my business and the work that I want to do for it. Life has to be experienced. That's the only way you're gonna learn. It's the only way. You have to experience things. You're not going to learn anything being in the house all the time, being cooped up, scrolling on TikTok all damn day. It's not going to happen. You will not get the same experience living your life through the internet as opposed to stepping outside. That's just the truth of it. You have to go outside in order to truly learn and evolve. So, yeah. Also, speaking of learning, lesson number 2. I know that I have been called to be a teacher to a lot of people. So with that being said, with me being called to be a teacher, I realized that I have to be a student. Going along with the first lesson, where life has to be lived, only way I'm going to experience. If you are called to be any kind of teacher, you have to be a student. Now, granted, everybody is a lifelong student. No matter what, you're always going to learn a lesson, but especially if you know you're being called to be a teacher, it is a requirement. It is a requirement. The universe will force you, because it forced me to go out in situations where I had to learn new things, of course, just to, one, get me out of my comfort zone because I can't be sitting in there all the time, but also it's the only way that I'm going to be able to service other people. You know what I mean? Like if I don't go out and experience and learn anything, how am I supposed to teach something? And then in terms of like gaining trust of others, if I'm in the house all day every day, what am I actually like learning? For a while I became a huge slave, to scrolling and stuff, and I realized like I'm not going outside, I ain't touching no grass, like what is going on? Granted, the weather just recently got nice, especially here in the Midwest. It just got nice enough within the past like few weeks, like consistently, where you want to be outside. But even in the winter when I was in hermit mode, it was really bad, and I can't do that no more. I can't do that anymore to myself, especially because I'm depriving myself of life and experiences, and therefore I am depriving you guys of that, and that's not fair, and that's never what I want. my spirit team has put a lot of stuff on hold when I wasn't present, and I was just stuck in la la land. Like, everything got stopped, put on hold, and things ended up not going the way I wanted them to, and that's because I had to be forced into certain situations. Now, nobody wants that. I'm the first one to talk about learning lessons with ease, which you should always want to do. Learn as many lessons as possible with ease. There's no need to make it more difficult than it needs to be, but me being hard-headed sometimes, I end up learning things the hard way. So yeah, don't do what I did. Lesson number 3. Not everyone who is currently in your life can go where you're going. So, long story short, if you end up having a falling out with somebody, like when you're stepping into like a new space, like a new job, you're starting school, a new career, all that stuff, when those people drop like flies, that is for a reason. That means that whatever you are getting, they don't need any parts of. Because essentially them and their energy being around you is going to be the thing that makes life so much more difficult for you when you go into these next steps. Like, for example, the bestie you just had a falling out with, this next step, that could be your biggest hater and you had no idea, but you are protected enough to where this person got removed from your life, so you don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta realize that when people go, it's for a reason. And sometimes you have to remove yourself. And if you don't remove yourself, the universe will remove you for you. It's going to remove you for you. So just keep that in mind too. Lesson 3.5. If you don't move, you will be moved. One way or another. If it no longer serves you, it's going to leave. That's it. So, yes. Lesson number 4. Vulnerability is everything. And I know in my Instagram post I had talked about vulnerability, so I guess here I'll just vaguely talk about it and be vulnerable with you guys. But I guess I've learned, being in this line of work, vulnerability is pivotal. It is a requirement. I mean, just in general, just in life, you always want to be, you obviously can't be vulnerable with everybody. Not everybody's a safe space. But in terms of being open, and yes, being vulnerable. Because not being vulnerable can block you from blessings and other great things to come into your life because you're so guarded and closed off. If you're continuously guarded off and you don't want to share too much with anybody, you will never have like meaningful relationships or friendships or anything like that. And when I say relationships, I mean romantic and platonic, but just something that I've learned is that being vulnerable is not a bad thing at all, and being vulnerable is something that is needed if you want to have anything substantial in life. The universe moves by emotion. Your emotion is what drives you. If you don't want to do something, you're not gonna do it. If you really want something, you're gonna do everything possible to get it and to have it. And it's kind of like there has to be a level of vulnerability, even with yourself, to the point of like, this is what I want. You're open to the idea of receiving it. You're open to all types of things, and the vulnerability is a very like layered thing. I feel like this is another video to dive into, so if you would like to see a vulnerability video, I would gladly make that for you, because it's a very complex thing and it has a lot of layers to it that I don't want to be rambling about for another like 30 minutes because I could. So yes, but vulnerability is everything. If you want any type of quality relationship in your life, you have to be vulnerable. And if you can't be vulnerable with that person, you need to look at why you can't and why you can't be vulnerable or why they can't be vulnerable, and sort that out amongst yourselves. Lesson number 5. It's okay to be upset about making the right decision for you. So, I'm not going to say like I'm the family disappointment by any means, but I remember talking with my cousin and we were talking about how our family tries to tell her what she can and can't do and definitely try to project their opinions onto her, but no one does that to me, and that is because it's been well established that nobody can tell me what to do. And so, you know, I tell her that no matter what, you got to make the best decision for you, whether that be letting certain people go, completely changing your life around, whatever that involves. And if it's something that can be upsetting, something that can shake the table, you know, that is okay. Because at the end of the day, it is your life and what you want to do. Only you can make the best decision for you, and it's okay if that decision feels terrible. Even though you know it's the right decision, it is okay to feel terrible about making the right decision. I've had to chuck it up to not talking to certain people just because I know that it would be better for me to get rid of this friendship that doesn't serve me anymore, and to focus on building friendships and relationships where I am actually feeling loved and appreciated. Because if I don't have that, why am I talking to you? Like, why would I consider you a friend if I can't feel safe and if I can't feel happy about that stuff? So, yeah. But it's okay. And I specifically said choosing to let things and people go suck. But were those things benefiting you? Were they adding, or at least trying to add, something to your life? Or was it a consistently draining experience? That job. That's all I'm gonna say. I feel like that's all you need to hear. That job. Is it draining you? Probably. So go somewhere else where you'll be happy. I was just thinking, I like to do things where I feel like I matter and what I'm doing matters. And now I'm looking at new careers where I can do stuff that makes a difference to the community and, you know, helping people out. Lesson 5, be more aware of what you're asking for. I feel like a lot of times we ask for stuff and we don't know what that requires. Like, most people ask for money. You know, like, oh, I want $20,000-$30,000. I want, you know, whatever crazy amount of money. And it's like, what are you even gonna do with that? Are you just gonna blow it on stupid stuff, or are you gonna use it for something that is well needed for you? Like, are you gonna like buy a house? Are you going to invest in something that's actually gonna come back to you, or are you just gonna blow it on what? Who is calling me? Lord have mercy. Yep, she hung up. Okay. So yeah, $30,000. Are you going to just blow it on stupid stuff, or are you going to, you know, use it for something that you need and also something that will benefit you? Like, yeah, you may need a vehicle, but why are you trying to buy a $50,000 vehicle? Start with the $20,000 vehicle and we'll go from there. Another aspect of that is, and this is something that I am being reminded of even right now, I need to remember that when I'm asking for things, I need to remember that I need to also ask to have the means to maintain it, because that is huge. Like, if you get a car, are you gonna keep with the car payments? Are you gonna keep some income coming in so you can continue to have it? You know, when I talked about, like, I don't think I actually talked about it. Maybe I did. I don't know. Women's circles, you know, certain level of vulnerability needs to be had in order for me to successfully host these types of ceremonies. Like, who am I? Like basically, if I'm gonna put myself on the forefront and show myself to people, that is a level of vulnerability that I used to never want to have. Like, I'm like, why can't I just keep this all to myself? But like, that's not what I'm here for. I'm not here to hide everything and to keep everything for myself, because that's no good. There's no point. You know, vulnerability, discipline, all that stuff. When you ask for something, you got to think, who do you need to be in order to get that, whatever it is that is. So just think about that. What do you need? Who do you need to be to obtain the goal that you want? and I realize that for the stuff that I want, I have to basically be a completely different person. Obviously that doesn't happen overnight, but it's something that I am actively working towards now. I realize that I got caught in a pattern of just doing the same stuff over and over again, and I realized I just need to be somebody different. And I can't be the old me. Ooh, you know what? Lesson 5.5. You can't be the old you. When you try to find new things, you cannot be the old you, because the old you didn't have those things for a reason. So you need to be a new person to get those new things. To me, that makes perfect sense. You know, trying to find like new happiness and this, that, and the other. Like, I can't go back to what used to make me happy, because when I think about it, at certain points I'm like, oh well, I did this to be happy. But it's like, yeah, because I was operating from this certain frequency, from like this certain level. If I'm gonna be like looking for new ways to find happiness, I need to just create them, because I'm at a different level now. Like, it's things like that. So another part of my journey, finding new things to make me happy. So yeah, but that's just another lesson that I had learned over the past few months. I'm over here trying to do the same stuff over and over again, and I'm just like, this is not it. Like, working jobs that I don't really care about. These jobs that I've had, they've had no like real meaning. It's been a lot of the times where I'm providing some kind of experience for somebody, but I'm not actually like, I mean, working customer service, you do end up meeting some really great people and make great connections. You talk to them, you know, you may actually add something to their life. But like, I'd rather have a career where that is what I want. You know, like that's something that brings me happiness. When I look for a job, or you know, some type of career that's gonna pay me for my time, I want something that's gonna add to people's lives. I'm not like, it's something a lot deeper than just, you know, a 1 hour experience in a restaurant. Like, gotta do way more than that. Gotta do better. So yeah, that's just a little ramble on that. What's next here? Oh, okay. Lesson number 6. This will be the last lesson, and then I'll be done talking your ears off. You know what? I'm not gonna apologize for that, because you volunteered to watch this video. Why am I apologizing? Lesson like 5.75. Do not apologize for doing what you want to do. Yeah. Lesson number 6. Before I even go back to this, lesson number 6. Not even 5.75. Lesson number 6. Do not apologize for doing what you want to do and doing what makes you happy. Because you know what? I realized at some point when I was out here trying to do stuff that made other people happy, I was fucking miserable. Like, I was so miserable. And I'm like, I'm doing all this, that, and the other, but it's like, no, you do what makes you happy. You know what? My first inkling of this was actually during my first women's circle, when I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Terrified. But it was something that I knew that would make me happy. And it ended up going really, really well. And I was so happy about that. I was like, it made me feel so happy to be like, people actually like want to come. And then you know, over like those months, I had people that regularly came. Like, and I was just like so astonished. It's like, that's crazy. When I operated on my own personal frequency of things that made me happy, people showed up. Crazy how people want the authentic you, and not like the version of you that you think people want, because the version of you that you think people want is not it at all. And referring back to, you know, a couple lessons ago, if that person is not vibing with you and what makes you happy, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Because there's no point. There is no point in being around people that don't add to your life and don't make you happy. Like, and some people will be like, oh, well, like, you know, I know some people, they've called me selfish and this, that, and the other when I express certain things that I do and don't want from my life. But it's like, it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to strictly operate on a frequency that makes me happy. Like, being selfish, lesson 6.5, being selfish is not a bad thing all the time. There are bad ways to be selfish, but it is not bad to be selfish. Oh, that's a bar. That's a bar. There are bad ways to be selfish, but it's not bad to be selfish. Okay, anyways, so yeah, like, it's okay to just be you, because those people will attract you, literally like a moth to a flame. Like, okay, I guess to just further elaborate on it, it's like when you operate on a certain frequency, no matter what it is, you send it off. It's actually, a better reference would be like a beacon of light. That's always the best way. It's like when you start thinking about things, you just start thinking about things, talking about things, that is a beacon of light, and it's just shooting straight off your head. Literally, it is shooting straight off your head, and everybody can see it. Whether it be, quote unquote, like the bad spirits, even though they're not bad necessarily, or, and like the good spirits, like all of those, like everybody sees it, no matter what. And it's just a matter of you walking in your truth and you standing 10 toes down on yourself. That might be a whole nother video. Let me relax. Let me relax. But either way, yeah, you shoot that light off. Everybody sees it, and everybody will be drawn to it one way or another. Whether it be to try to talk shit about you, or whether it be to actually benefit from you in a selfish way and a non-selfish way. I guess not in a selfish way and a non-selfish way, but like in a harmful way and a not harmful way to you. If somebody actually wants to like benefit from you and add to your life and be friends and all that other stuff, like, yes, like that is a-okay. That's perfect. That's wonderful. That's great. But other people want to leech off of that. So it's just a matter of, you have to realize, you got to move a little differently. Especially when you step into your own, you definitely got to move a little differently. So yeah, but lesson 7, last lesson, and I'm gonna read directly what I said from here. I am not crazy. Anything is possible, and the world is more wild than I think it is. So I am working on creating a space on my website where we can talk about things that aren't typically YouTube friendly, and it'll be a private space to those who want to access that and talk about it, and I will post more about it when it's open later down the line. Saying life is crazier than fiction rings true to me every single day, and I realize, like, every day I wake up and it's like hold on, let me finish reading this. Spiritual encounters can be hard to explain, pleasant and non. Some things are literally only from my eyes to see. Stand 10 toes down on what you believe. Trust your intuition, whether a situation is good or bad. Every time I thought I was going crazy or experiencing spiritual psychosis, I wasn't. My third eye was just seeing the world for what it really is. So I will actually make a video about spiritual psychosis and like how some people actually are going crazy out here and others are not. But I guess, like, I was just thinking this morning, like, I wake up and I see the clock says 444, and like I see 444 in so many other places, and it's like I'm not crazy. This stuff is real, because why am I seeing these numbers all the time? You know what I mean? And it's not like, oh, because you want to see it, because you're looking for it. It's like, no. If I wake up out of my sleep and I just and look over to see what time it is, and it says 444, how am I looking for it? You know what I mean? Like no. Like, there's way more to it. I know, some people are gonna be like, that's how I feel about that. But it's like, you're not crazy. When the math starts mathing, when coincidences are coincidencing, like, there's a reason for that. And there's no such thing as coincidences. Like, everything aligns. All things align. everything in your life is relevant to your life. Like when you start noticing those things, it's because you are conscious enough to see it, not because. And I feel like people that try to like say that like, oh, like you're spiritual, you're just crazy, you just hear voices in your head and this, that, and the other, blah 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 blah. But it's like you actively refusing to believe that there is more out there than what you may think there is. Just shows that you're closed-minded. And to be quite honest, I don't even care no more. I am slowly getting to the point. I am at the point now where I kind of don't care if I look crazy anymore. I feel like just being crazy is more fun. Like when I think back at like a lot of the stuff I did when I was younger, like for example, my friend and I, we would drive around, this is back when we were like 18, 19. We would go to Chipotle and we would go shopping at Ulta, and it was a honky-dory time. And I remember though that like we would play like freaking High School Musical. I would blast it. Like I had brand new speakers in my car, in my little rust bucket, and I had brand new speakers in there, and I was just blasting High School Musical. And like when I look at it now, I'm like, I would never do no shit like that. Like I don't want people to I don't want people to like hear me blast a High School Musical. Like that's corny. But I realized that in some way, shape, or form, I was happier then because I didn't give a damn than I am now. Well, I wouldn't say now, but I would say like that level of just not caring about what people saw, about what people like said, because I was happy. I was in my own world. Like I didn't care. And I love that for past Imani, and I want that for me now. I want to not care. I want to blast my corny music, and I don't give a shit. That would be lovely. That'd be wonderful. I would love that for me. But I'm not saying I'm not going to be able to attain that, because I am. I will get back to that level of not caring. Did I care a little too less at times? Yes. So finding that balance now that I'm older is important, but nonetheless, I enjoy like I have been so scared to go to like the lake and like sit with the drum or meditate and all that other stuff. But I realized that like it makes no sense for me to be scared of that, because I'm really just doing me. And at that point I'm like, I could meet somebody that actually likes that type of stuff, and maybe make a friend, for someone that could do it with me. Like, and I'm over here scared to do something that makes me happy. Nuts. But of course, like, we've been conditioned, to not want to be judged. And though to some degree that's okay, it's also not. It's not okay. Actually, it's 99.9% not okay. We don't need to worry about being judged. We just need to worry about what makes us happy. And, and realizing that this world is way more than what we even think it is. There's so much more to know. There's so much more to learn. And that's okay. I'm not crazy. The world just has a lot of information, and you can get lost in the sauce. You definitely can get lost in the informational sauce. But it's almost like that's okay sometimes, to some point. Because it's better to be willing to learn than to just be like, no, none of this exists. Because it's like, there are things that I've seen that like I haven't told a single soul. And it's so nice because I know those things were only for my eyes to see. And it's amazing because it just reminds me of how much mystery this world has. And it's amazing to the thought of me learning more about the mysteries of this world makes me excited, instead of just sitting here a part of this rat race of a matrix and running around like, just trying to chase money the whole time. Like, that's not the life I want to live. Though we do live in this world and money is a necessity. There's more to life than just these the simple earthly things like making money and cars and status and all that other stuff. I would much rather learn more about the world and my spirit than anything else. But yeah, so those are my thoughts. Those are my lessons. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate you guys watching. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe. I would love new video ideas. I would love to do Q&As, all that stuff. So, are you kidding me? Two very boring minutes later. Yeah, these are a lot of the lessons that have punched me in the face, specifically in the past 6 months. So this is where I've been, this is what I've been learning, and I'm very excited to learn and show a lot more, and fully express myself with you guys. So yeah, because you guys deserve that. Oh wait, bye, have a good day. Mwah.